Prognosis EMR ICD-10 transition tool. With the recent transition from ICD-9 to ICD-10 within the industry, Prognosis has provided an ICD-10 transition screen. This is a single-screen utility designed to help you modify default values in some of your master files. Lists such as your clinic preferred ICD, HPI chief complaint primary ICD that defaults, your vaccination master, and your doctor preferred lists. Now this screen will display only the ICD codes that are currently defined in each of those masters. If you need to add new codes to those master files, those can be done through the individual master files directly under Settings Configuration. Now it's important to note, users do require update permissions to the appropriate master files to use this feature. So even though they may have the ICD-10 transition available under their main menu tab, unless they also have individual update rights to the preferred list, to the HPI complaint list, to the vaccination master, then they will not be able to utilize this feature. So to look at the transition tool, I am logged in here already as Dr. Cooper, and I'm going to go to my settings tab, and we have the menu option ICD-10 transition. Now I mentioned this is a single screen. It is tabular in design. We see that we have 4 tabs here. We have the preferred ICD, which is your default, complaints, vaccine, and then since I am logged in as a doctor, I do have my doctor preferred. Now the doctor preferred tab will always be there, but if you are not using a doctor's login, it will be disabled. Now we're going to look at each of these tabs individually. The way it works is quite simply just using the new hyperlink tool. You'll notice right now all of my ICD-9s are a blue hyperlink, and I do not have a matching ICD-10 or SNOMED. So if I just take this first one, for example, the 250.62, and I click the hyperlink. Now again, this is on my preferred ICD master file. It is going to open up my filtered IMO search, specifically filtered by default to code 25062. So in order to determine which ICD-10 I want, I now need to base it on the description or the conditions, the specificity within this code. Now I do have a scroll bar within my filtered search screen, so you will want to make sure that you're looking through all of your codes. And as I'm scrolling down here, you'll notice in that ICD-10 column, the numbers are changing, as are the SNOMED codes in that middle column. So you can sit here and manually look through it, or you can search. You might want to say it's uncontrolled. Once you have found the diagnosis descriptive that you want, you're going to go ahead and choose it. I'm just going to choose the diabetes mellitus uncontrolled. Now notice my ICD-10 and my SNOMED have come in. And so it is that simple. Once you have done all of the ones that you want, you simply exit the screen. What we are providing here on the ICD-10 transition is simply a dashboard into the master file. The update is actually occurring inside the master file, so there is not a need to click an OK button out here on the dashboard. Now, if I toggle into Settings Configuration and go to my preferred ICD master, which is over here under my clinic column, you will notice that first diabetes mellitus with neurological manifestations uncontrolled with the SNOMED and the ICD-10. So that is exactly what I just chose. And you'll notice here all of the other codes exist. So again, it's your choice if you want to do the master files directly or if you want to do it through the ICD-10 transition. The nice thing about doing it under the transition screen is that you can simply go from one master to the next. But it is a matter of preference. And again, if you've decided that there's a new diagnosis you want to add to the preferred code, you would have to do that directly through the master file. There is no provision to add it here. And one last thing to notice, up here in the upper left, we do have our specialty drop-down. So for those of you in a multi-specialty practice, if you have defined your clinic level preferred at the specialty level, you're able to filter this transition tool accordingly. You also have the description search, so that when you are looking for a specific code that you would like to map, you don't have to sit here and scroll down through all of the descriptions to find it. So I'm going to click on the Complaints tab now. Now this is where we're going to see some difference as far as what is populated here on the ICD-10 transition dashboard versus what is actually in our complaints master. As far as doing the functionality, it is exactly the same as we just saw on the other tab. You click the hyperlink. I'm just choosing the abdominal pain. It brings up the IMO filtered search for all of the 78907s. I can choose the one that I want. Let's just say it's chronic generalized abdominal pain. Again, I do not have to click the OK button because that automatically updated the master. But if I go into the configuration, look at my workflow complaint master, we see here that first one again, the abdominal pain. I have updated it with the ICD-10 and SNOMED. These others, however, are still not mapped. Now you'll notice my second one here, abnormal menses, since it does not already have an ICD-9 defined, it was not out there on my transition screen. Neither was this abscess, the andropause, ankle edema. So only the ones that have the ICD will be available through the transition tool. New assignments will have to be done here in the master file direct. We see here that abnormal menses, the adrenal pause, and so on are not here. Quickly, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my others here. Now vaccine, it's easier to notice because I've only got 4 of them defined. I'm not going to click the hyperlink here for time's sake, but it is the same concept. But if I go into the vaccination master, notice how many more vaccines I have. I have over 3 pages. And if I just choose one here, you're going to notice that it does not already have an ICD-9 pre-defaulted. So if your vaccines do not have a default ICD-9, it will have to be modified here in the master file direct and not through the transition tool. And then finally, again, since I am logged in as Dr. Cooper, I can modify my preferred lists that are separate from my clinic preferred. Now, of course, the doctor preferences are not under settings configuration where we did our preferred ICD for the clinic. Instead, I'm going to go under the My Preferences link. And this, of course, is only specific for doctor logins. And there we have the master file for doctor preferences. So in review, the ICD-10 transition tool is a single screen utility that allows you to access multiple master files, such as the clinic preferred or doctor preferred, as well as the primary ICDs that have been defined to your chief complaint or your vaccines. This allows you to update currently assigned ICD-9 codes using the hyperlink tool, which of course invokes the filtered IMO search that is hard filtered to the specific ICD-9 and allows you to then drill down by description or keyword search to find the specific ICD-10. User role permissions are applicable, meaning that in order to use this feature, the user does have to have permissions to update the underlying master file through this transition tool dashboard, and each of these master files can also be directly updated.